Hello, I'm on my adventure again, and today I'm at Minninglow chambered Cairn. What is the history of this ancient burial ground? Before I go into the history, I want to say how ethereal the atmosphere of this site is. There is a real sense of energy as you enter into the site. The site holds an energy I hadn't felt in a long time. Flowers were growing, herbs were scented, and the sky was rumbling. I sat and closed my eyes. I understood more in an instant how spiritual the site was than reading any book on the subject. This site has had its fair share of treasure hunters, namely the Victorian barrow diggers, led by the industrious Squire Thomas Bateman of Middleton-by Youlgreave. He found numerous pieces of pottery, arrowheads and coins dropped by passing Roman legionaries. I recently read Thomas Bateman's book, 10 Years Digging in Celtic and Saxon Grave Hills. This book was written in diary form, and here is an extract from his diary entries.
We made a slight excavation in the large barrow at Minninglow, near the sepulchre, wherein a skeleton was found in 1849. The cutting was continued through loose stones to the depth of 4 feet from the surface when the natural soil appeared, and through the hole, we found many pieces of firmly baked Roman British pottery that had been formed on the wheel from clay mixed with coarse sand and small pebbles, which had acquired in baking colors varying from brick red to dark gray or purple. Altogether we collected near a peck of fragments, which might have been purposely broken, as no large pieces are to be found amongst them. Most of them appear to be parts of vessels modelled after the pattern of the common globular cinerary urn of the Romans. Near the natural soil, we found 2 small brass coins in good preservation. Walking over the smaller tumulus in Minninglow plantation on the 20th of July, I observed, as a peculiarity before unnoticed, that it consists of 2 distinct barrows of different structure, or to speak more correctly, that a later barrow of earth has been cast up against the side of the original mound, which is a cairn entirely of stone surrounding a megalithic sepulchre vine. On the 27th of July, excavating as near the center of the earthy barrow as possible, we raised 3 or 4 ponderous flat stones, beneath which the earth exhibited a crystallized appearance, resulting from its having been tempered with liquid. Cutting down through it, we arrived at the natural surface at a depth of rather more than 4 feet, and found that the mound had been raised over the site of the funeral pile, as it remained when burnt out. The scattered human bones had not been collected but lay strewed upon the earth, accompanied by some good flints, part of a bone implement, and a bronze dagger of the most archaic form, having holes for thongs and no rivets, all of which had been burnt along with their owner. The dagger is singularly contorted by the heat and affords the first instance of a weapon of bronze having been burnt, and the second in which we have found one associated with calcined bones, the first being at Moot Low in 1844. But perhaps the most important conclusion to be drawn from the discovery is the corroboration of the opinion entertained in favor of the high antiquity of the cairns or stone barrows and other megalithic remains of primitive industry, as we here find a mound containing an interment accompanied by weapons indicating a very remote period, and itself differing both in material and structure, occupying a position in relation to the cairn, which affords positive proof of its more recent origin.
In another diary entry from the 13th of September, Bateman wrote,
"We spent the 13th of September excavating at the large chambered barrow at Minninglow, where we cleared out a very large and perfect megalithic chamber on the south side, which had previously escaped a close examination at our hands, though it had evidently been explored before. as we found only 1 or 2 pieces of ancient human bone and many animal bones of recent date.
In his book, Bateman drew a plan of one of the cysts, which shows how the cyst was laid out.
The plan shows the arrangement of the stones forming the chamber, with the interior dimensions, excepting the height, which is rather more than 5 feet. The largest capstone is about 7 feet square. There are several imperfect sepulchre in the same barrow, and one of similar structure to the present, in the center, which yet remains perfect and is covered in by a capstone. At the west side of the mound, we found 2 small brass coins of Constantine, Jun, with the common reverse of 2 soldiers with standards legend, Gloria Exa Citivis, which lay just below the turf, and numerous pieces of Romano-British pottery.